Welcome to your favorite program, Love Like Sobolo. It is interesting, it is exciting, it is wonderful, and it is up, and it meets the context. This episode is dubbed the X Factor. Woo! X Factor. X Factor. It's not the X Factor program that runs, but this is a unique program. X Factor. Who is an ex? I want to thank you for being part of it, for subscribing, the many who have subscribed, the many who are sharing, the many who are supporting us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter, on all social media platforms. We love you so much. This is Love Like Sobolo. The X Factor. An ex is somebody that you have dated, somebody that you have had some relationship with in the past. It could be sexual relationship or not. Somebody that you had intentions of settling down, but due to one or two reasons or the other, things could not work. That is an ex. So the X Factor. We have defined who an ex is. How important or what are the challenges associated with exes in a relationship or in marriage? Wow. To be sure and to be clear, let's be mindful that the problem of exes creates a lot of challenges to relationships. So for some people, they have moved on from their previous relationship, they are in a new relationship, but the ex continue to play a key role. From research, we know that the exes continue to affect marriages in contemporary Ghanaian context and Ghanaian situation. And in Africa, most part of Africa, in Nigeria, in Zambia, all around the continent, exes play a vital role. To some people, exes continue to have an influence on their current relationship. To some, once we have had something to do in the past, then we are forever bonded. X Factor. We've defined an ex, and we are looking at the import and the influence of exes on relationships and on marriage. Now, let's look at exes on relationship. So, my dear sister, you went out with this guy for one or two reasons. You are no more together, and you've moved on. You have a new person, or you don't have any person. You are staying on your own. Once you've had something with him or her, the probability of you coming back is strong. The probability of you having something to do with this person is strong. It could be casual communication. Hello, how are you? Checking up on you, stuff like that. After all, because we have dated and we are not more dating, because we have gone out and we are not more going out, doesn't mean we are enemies. So in that context, mutual. But here is a case when it involves particularly sex, and you have moved on, things did not work, you've gone away. This person have a certain influence. If the person is the first person who had sex with you, what some people have termed definition of scope, this person defines your scope and shapes your life in a certain way. To some people, this woman is what you know when you talk about love. So in your present relationship, the baggage of your ex have an effect on your present relationship. So if that is the case, how do we deal with this X Factor? Let's talk about exes and marriage. So you meet people who are married and they are still friends and good friends with their exes. They are former boyfriends, former girlfriends, former people that they moved with. They are still friends with them. And these exes in some contexts are the people who advise this couple, who advise this spouse, one of the spouse in marriage. This ex is the person that when she has a problem, she will call the ex. This ex is that, this ex is that. Exes breaks relationship. Exes break marriage. Now, there are three categories of exes that we have come up with. The first one is a generational ex. Yeah, generational ex. The generational ex is that person that you have gone out with before. You are no more together. But this person, for example, maybe the work you are doing now, this person got you that job. Maybe you work in this person's family business. You cannot stop the work because you have moved on and the relation didn't work. It's a professional setting, but he has a certain influence on the work. This person, because of mutual consent, none of us could not come together because of maybe health reasons. There are a couple I know who could not proceed with their relationship because the guy is AS, the lady is AS. And in that situation, it's just because of the medical situation. These generational X are people that we cannot do without them. We need them economically. We need them in some sectors of our life. We need them to survive in some things. How do we relate with them? The generational X are there. So that's the generational X. We need them. We've moved on, but we need them. And we still have to be in touch with them for one reason or the other. Then we have the opportunistic X. The opportunistic X is that person that you have moved on. Maybe you are in a new relationship. You found a new lady. You found a new man. But in her heart, in his heart, this person thinks that you are not ended. You've not ended yet. He has something to do. The story is not ended. She have to take his pound of flesh. So any opportunity to ignite the relationship again, any opportunity to have sex with you, any opportunity to extort from you, any opportunity to get something from you. So we call them opportunistic. They are there in the background. As soon as you call them, they're beginning to bring memories of good times together, what we have done, this and that, and all of that. Oh, remember, oh, this is your husband that you are married with. If you were with me, you would have seen the love. You remember the love I used to show you. I used to take you here. I've heard that your husband cannot even take you out. I've heard that he doesn't love you. I've heard that he doesn't have a beard. I have a beard. I've heard that your wife doesn't have boobs. I have boobs. I've heard that they are opportunistic X. They begin to bring some contrast and begin to bring your attention to what is not in your present relationship. Opportunistic X. Be mindful of them. The final part is what we call the demanding X. Those are the dangerous people. So you've moved on with your relationship, you've moved on with and you are, by God's grace, we dated, we went out for a year or two, for 3 years, whatever years, it didn't work. Each and every one of us have moved on to his or her way. The demanding X still thinks that they control you, and what they say is what you have to do, even in your marriage. These are the people that will be keeping your nude pictures, will be keeping some secrets, and will threaten you with it. If you don't come here to meet me today before your wedding, I will come, I will leak your nude pictures. He's a demanding X. If you don't come to my house now, if you don't do this, they have something with you. They've taken some weakness from the relationship they had with you, and they are using it as blackmail against you. They call them demanding X. If you don't give me this amount of money, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, demanding X. How do we deal with the issue of X? Now I'm in a new relationship. Now I'm married. Yes, I'm not a virgin. I'm not a saint. I didn't fall from heaven. I have had 1 or 2 people. How do you deal with this X? First of all, be transparent in your relationship. As much as possible, be transparent with your new relationship. Because we are in an era that, because of social media, because of laptops, because of mobile phones, because of any other reason, some things can pop up. The ex you went out with, that guy you went out with, have classmates, he's talked to somebody have seen you with him or her in the past, you've gone to parties in the past, you've done things in the past, you have pictures in the past. And you have sought to bury all of them, and to your new man, to your new woman, you are a saint. Yes. One day these things will pop up. And when they pop up, it will erode trust that you have taken years to build. So be transparent. Should I have to tell the new guy I have found, my husband, the guy I want to marry from the beginning? I would say that we have to be careful. We have to know when and how to disclose. So we can have what we call general disclosure. We disclose from a general perspective. We can have what we call specific disclosure based on the length and the in-depthness of the relationship. So when the relationship gets to a certain level, we can have an in-depthness of disclosure. So we say, oh, I have to go out with 3-4 guys. Yes, before I met you. But as we are married, as we are going deeper, as you trust this person more, you can give more details and details and details. So that is how we can approach the issue of the ex. We are saying that be transparent. We are saying that let the person that you are going out with know all that pertains in your former relationship. Tell him or her about your past. I went out with A, I went out with B, I went out to C. It didn't work because of A, B, C, D reasons. There are some people who will feel offended, who will feel bad. You've gone down to 20 people, you've gone down to 1,000 people before meeting me. But that is you. You have stood for the truth. You have exposed your strength and weakness. If you like me, take me like that. If you don't like me, go forward. Some people are of the other view will say that no, you don't have to disclose everything. When you've met this person, you have to keep some of the things. Yes, you can keep them, but eventually, when they come to light, it affects the relationship you've taken years to build. We are talking about the X factor in relationships and marriage, the X factor. And we've looked at who is an X. We have looked at the import or influence of X. We have looked at type of X. And now we are looking at how to deal with an X. This is your favorite program, the YouTube version, the international version, Love Like Sobolo. And we are talking about the X factor. I know you have an X. I know she has an X. And how are you dealing with your X? Does your X call you? Do you call him? Do you call her? The X factor. If you don't handle it well, it can break a relationship. It can break your marriage. Some are demanding. Some are opportunistic. Some are generational. The X factor. Thank you once again for watching Love Like Sobolo. In this episode, like we always do, we've been looking at the X factor, and we've sought to understand who the X is. We've sought to know the import of the X on your current relationship on marriage. We've sought to know the type of X, and we have sought to know how to deal with the issue of the X. If you forget everything, be mindful, be transparent with your current partner. Tell him or her, tell your husband about all that you've been through. Let him know. Because if not, social media can pop things up. Information can pop up and it will erode trust. Thank you and God bless you. Love Like Sobolo.